Let's talk about Fallout 76, because deviating from my normal content last time turned out so well that I felt I just had to do it again. There's been a growing trend in the online community revolving around Fallout 76, to which I'll refer to as the emoji movie treatment. By that, I mean that each review has been a contest. A contest to see who can yell the loudest or come up with the most clever insults in regards to the game's content. But is it all deserved? Maybe. I can't say that I particularly enjoyed the game myself, and I can very well see why many fans of the series were disappointed, but personally, I didn't get too upset. My experience with the Fallout franchise has primarily been their most loved title, Fallout New Vegas. But I was aware of the underbelly of hate that fans had for the next console title, Fallout 4. I heard how bad its story was, how bad its gameplay was, so I never brought myself to purchase it, since it felt it might ruin my perception toward the franchise. That being said, I knew right from the beginning that I was going to be playing Fallout 76. But here is where I think I strayed from the mass. As someone who is acutely aware of the unrealistic expectations that hype can create, I did my best to stay away from it. I didn't watch any videos beyond the trailer, I didn't watch any pre-reviews, I was just aware of the game's existence, pre-ordered it, and played it when it came out. So with that all being said, my not being hyped and my acute awareness of others' ability to exaggerate the game's flaws, from an objective perspective, is the game bad? Let's find out. As any good game developer or movie director knows, the first 10 minutes are the most important. They're what hook you in and say, yes, this is a world that I want to explore, a story that I want to be part of. So how did Bethesda do? You start off with a cutscene and then an empty vault. That's it. Hey, look at all those balloons and party debris. I would have really loved to be a part of that, but no. I guess on the single most important day of my character's life, I slept in. When I played through the intro, I actually thought this was intentionally done for the beta, to not give away the fantastic introduction they were going to reveal when the game came out. After all, you wouldn't want everything spoiled before release, would you? So to fail in giving a good introduction is one of the biggest of game sins. But hey, from what I saw of the reveal trailer, the graphics are going to be pretty cool, so let's take our first steps out of the vault. Oh, hey, yeah, no, you showed me that 3 FPS animation earlier. Could I just see the world now? Thanks. Are you kidding me? Alright, they messed up the introduction. So what? I mean, honestly, I had a similar feeling about the introduction to Skyrim when it came out, and that game was great. So I mean, how does the game hold itself after leaving the vault? Look, before I talk about gameplay, I have to address the glitches. If there is one thing you expect from a beta, it's that there are going to be bugs, and lots of them. So when I played, they never bothered me. A texture glitch here, a turret facing the wrong direction while shooting me, it wasn't that bad. But one thing that always stayed in the back of my mind, an itch that I just couldn't scratch. With the beta being only a week before full release, how are they going to have time to fix these? I mean, they must have an entire team dedicated to watching every review, working around the clock to fix things as they're reported, because there are just so many bugs. But I was wrong. After release, the bugs stayed, and so this time around, I was a lot less forgiving. I mean, my god, the game uninstalled on PC when the beta launched due to a glitch. How little testing had to have been done? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's move on to the gameplay. Shoot the baddies, read the terminal, rinse and repeat. The first hour or so had me feeling down, almost depressed that I spent $60 for this, that this is what people remember as being the next generation Fallout game. And the grand feature multiplayer was honestly the worst part of the game for me, because I would constantly run into areas where a player had already killed the enemies there or was just about finished. Oh hey, look at that cool farmhouse. I would have enjoyed to fight the robots there, that would have been cool. But after that hour-and-a-half mark came around, I did something that actually made the game enjoyable. I stopped thinking about it as a Fallout game. It took me a while, but by removing myself from the Fallout universe and subconsciously thinking about the game as its own independent title, I actually started to have fun. Its gameplay is very reminiscent of Borderlands, which is a game that I really enjoy. My favorite part was taking on enemies that were a much higher level than me. I found a prison building that I actually spent nearly an hour in just because of how much fun I was having. There were enemies around every corner, some would rush you, others would hang back. I was using up all my healing items, I was finding new weapons, it was fantastic. Look at this. This is what I want. The challenge, the difficulty. I've died twice and I'm still having a blast. But then, I let out that faithful shot, and I leveled up. If there's one thing I enjoyed about Fallout New Vegas, it was its difficulty. A lot of early to mid-game weapons did only slightly more damage than the last, and it made almost all enemies stay a challenge for the entire playthrough. I just didn't get that feeling with Fallout 76. That prison was the last time I felt like I would have that much fun. Every enemy afterward would be boring to kill or infuriatingly impossible. In fact, I even ended up going back to the prison to have fun, but I'd leveled up and the enemies there were way too easy. And that is what really held this game back. It's designed like an MMO, with enemies increasing in difficulty the further out you go, with very little in-between difficulties. They're either hard, or they're easy. A positive was that I never felt I had to grind, possibly because I didn't get that far, so that's a plus. Just following quest missions got me enough loot and levels to keep going, but I felt disappointed that I couldn't explore areas that I was interested in because they required a much higher level. And then I would come back to these areas only a few levels later and they would suddenly become super easy. But I did have fun again when doing a co-op mission. We had to protect a robot as it moved building to building and waves of baddies threw themselves at us. It was probably the only time I found the multiplayer to be fun. It's Borderlands style teamwork and I love that. But all good things must come to an end. In the action, I must have accidentally shot some of my partners because as soon as the quest was coming to an end, they began ganging up on me in PvP without warning. I was out of healing items and outnumbered. Needless to say, I lost. Look, the story isn't stellar. From the moment I saw the quest icons and flashy pop-ups and card packs, I knew that I wasn't in for a traditional Fallout game. The main story has you listening to audio logs or reading terminals while moving location to location. And I think enough has been said that we all know the story just wasn't good. There was one bit of reading that I did find interesting in the prison was a log. Sadly, I don't have footage of it since I actually didn't think to make this review until I was halfway done with the prison, but I remember it referenced how low-level crimes would result in arrests, which implied a much more fascist and non-perfect society than what Vault-Tec would have us believe. It was an interesting bit of lore that helped me expand my understanding of the world and make me feel kind of like a detective. I loved it. The graphics aren't anything to write home about, but they weren't as bad as people are making them out to be. I can't run the game on full graphics, but even on medium I find myself enjoying it. Things like the bloom effect with fire, it was all nice and felt natural to the world. It all blended together really nicely. But god damn it, I can't believe I've gone this long without talking about the camera. I kid you not, my first time playing this game after making my character, I paused, alt-tabbed, and then looked up how to change the field of view. You're so zoomed in, I swear to god my head's going to smack into the wall from 5 feet away. Fine. I can learn to adapt. I was actually talking with my friend in Discord my first time around, and standing in the starter room, I remember remarking about the field of view, saying it feels a bit zoomed in. To which an unknown voice said, "Yeah, it is." Well, you see, the game starts off with continuous voice. This is a fucking invasion of privacy. I just started playing the game. Someone could have been recording while I talked about something personal, and I wouldn't have known. Who the fuck thought this was a good idea? Literally, the first thing I did was want to change it to push-to-talk, but it's not even an option. You have to use your voice at all times, or not at all. So how does this game hold up? I'll tell you. It's a PC game with forced console features, it's a multiplayer game that's more fun when you're alone, and it's a Fallout game that requires you to pretend it's not in order to enjoy it. That's how it holds up. God damn it, I paid fucking $60 for this shit. Okay. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Oh, just gotta get through this. Honestly, I wanted to like the game. I even started this review badgering others for exaggerating its flaws so much, which, to be fair, there are a lot of. But there are also some good things to take away. I particularly enjoyed being able to take my own screenshots with their screenshot tool. I thought they actually looked really good. What made me like this feature even more was when I was on a loading screen and my screenshot appeared. Also, the first time I found out about the PvP system was also enjoyable, because the guy shot me and I just one-shot him back. But that's not really enough, is it? Really, the more I've thought about it, the more I dislike my experience. But does the game deserve to be the worst game of the year? Not really. I mean, the game has a multitude of flaws and should be selling for more like $30 if you ask me. But it's not bad. Mediocre? Yeah. That being said, I'm probably not going to play it anymore. Honestly, it'll be the first time I paid for a full $60 game and stopped playing it after only 10 hours of gameplay. I don't recommend this game at all. Its bad far outweighs the good, and Bethesda should be ashamed. The multiplayer sucked, the gameplay was mediocre, and worst of all, they made me hate the Vault Boy. The game was so pandering and full of fan service that it just drained my love of the Fallout mascot. Every pop-up, every card pack, every video, just boom, boom, boom everywhere. You know what? I take it back. The game isn't mediocre. I so wanted to give it that title. I wanted to be the guy who at least treaded slightly onto the side of good. Said, you know what? Maybe there is some good in there. But god damn it, there's nothing. The game is bad.